The Law of Moses refers primarily to the Torah or first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, traditionally believed to be written by Moses. Terminology. The Law of Moses or Torah of Moses is a biblical term first found in the book of Joshua chapter 8 verses 31 to 32, where Joshua writes the Hebrew words of Torah at Moshe, on the altar at Mount Ebal. The text continues, and afterward he read all the words of the teachings, the blessings and cursings, according to all that is written in the book of the Torah. The term occurs 15 times in the Hebrew Bible, another 7 times in the New Testament, and repeatedly in Second Temple period, intertestamental, rabbinical and patristic literature. The usage of the Hebrew term Torah as equivalent to the English term Pentateuch, meaning the 5 books of Moses of the Hebrew Bible, is clearly documented only from the 2nd century BCE. In modern Hebrew, the term Torah refers to both the first section of the Tanakh and to the Torah of Moses itself. The actual regulations and commandments found among the 2nd to 5th books of the Hebrew Bible, rarely in English, the law, can also refer to the whole Pentateuch including Genesis, but this is generally in relation to New Testament uses where nomos, the law, sometimes refers to all 5 books, including Genesis. This use of the Hebrew term, Torah, law, for the first 5 books is considered misleading by Bible scholar John Van Setters, since the Pentateuch consists of about one half law and the other half narrative. The adjective Mosaic, meaning of Moses, is also found in the description Mosaic law, in which case only the actual law, not the 5 books, is intended. Law in the ancient Near East. The Law of Moses in ancient Israel is distinguished from other legal codes in the ancient Near East by its reference to offense against a deity, rather than against society. This compares with the Sumerian code of Ur-Nammu, then the Babylonian code of Hammurabi, of which almost half concerns contract law. However, the influence of the ancient Near Eastern legal tradition on the law of ancient Israel is recognized and well documented. For example, the Israelite sabbatical year has antecedents in the Akkadian Mesharim edicts granting periodical relief to the poor. Another important distinction is that in ancient Near East legal codes, or in more recently unearthed Ugaritic texts, an important, and ultimate, role was assigned to the king, whereas in the law of ancient Israel, Israel was intended to be a theocracy, not a monarchy. Hebrew Bible. Moses and authorship of the law. According to the Hebrew Bible, Moses was the leader of early Israel out of Egypt, and traditionally the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible are attributed to him, though Mosaic authorship is disputed. The law attributed to Moses, specifically the laws set out in the book of Deuteronomy, as a consequence came to be considered supreme over all other sources of authority, and the Levite priests were the guardians and interpreters of the law. The book of Deuteronomy records Moses saying, "Take this book of the law, and put it by the side of the ark of the covenant of the Lord." Similar passages include, for example, Exodus chapter 17 verse 14, "And the Lord said unto Moses, Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, that I will utterly blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven." Exodus chapter 24 verse 4, "And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and built an altar under the mount, and 12 pillars, according to the 12 tribes of Israel." Exodus chapter 34 verse 27, "And the Lord said unto Moses, Write thou these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel." And Leviticus chapter 26 verse 46. These are the decrees, the laws and the regulations that the Lord established on Mount Sinai between himself and the Israelites through Moses. Later references to the law. In the Hebrew Bible, the Book of Kings relates how a law of Moses was discovered in the temple during the reign of King Josiah. This book is mostly identified as an early version of the Book of Deuteronomy, perhaps chapters 5 to 26 and chapter 28 of the extant text. This text contains a number of laws, dated to the 8th century BC Kingdom of Judah. Another mention of the Book of the Law of Moses is found in Joshua chapter 8 verses 30 to 31. The content of the law is spread among the books of Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, and then reiterated and added to in Deuteronomy. This includes the Ten Commandments, moral laws on murder, theft, honesty, adultery, etc., social laws on property, inheritance, marriage and divorce, food laws on what is clean and unclean, on cooking and storing food, purity laws on menstruation, seminal emissions, skin disease and mildew, etc., feasts, the Day of Atonement, Passover, Feast of Tabernacles, Feast of Unleavened Bread, Feast of Weeks, etc., sacrifices and offerings, the sin offering, burnt offering, whole offering, heave offering, Passover sacrifice, meal offering, wave offering, peace offering, drink offering, thank offering, dough offering, incense offering, red heifer, scapegoat, first fruits, etc. Instructions for the priesthood and the high priest including tithes. Instructions regarding the tabernacle, and which were later applied to the temple in Jerusalem, including those concerning the Holy of Holies containing the Ark of the Covenant. Instructions and for the construction of various altars. Forward-looking instructions for time when Israel would demand a king. Rabbinical interpretation. The content of the instructions and its interpretations. The oral Torah was passed down orally, excerpted and codified in Rabbinical Judaism, and in the Talmud were numbered as the 613 commandments. The Jewish law given to Moses at Sinai is a halakhic distinction.